second one. I think that the first discussion has been characterized by putting together some words that are very normal for who deals with social innovation, design for social innovation, that is small, local, relatively short term, very specific individual intervention, outscaling, and I think that all we agree that these are very important words. But for some reason that has been introduced, and maybe we can go back in the discussion this afternoon, no, afternoon not, but at the end of this morning, we say yes, small, but in some way we need also to be large. But what does it mean to be large for us? Yes, we have to outscale, but something has to be also upscaled. Yes, we have to do something that is immediate, that gives immediate recognition of what we are doing, but afterward something has to happen on the long run, and so on and so forth. So there are some tensions that are starting to emerge, positive tension in my view, that we can try to discuss and to see in the light of what designer can do. Now we have these three speakers, and I will, before making my question, if it will be necessary, I will ask to the audience to see if there are some questions that comes from you. I will not summarize what they said. I hope that you remember, but I will only maybe give a kind of title. That is my interpretation of the title. So in my view, I will say that the first speaker of these three, I remember that this session was a session that represented with some emblematic presentation, some line of research that we have found out in our work in the thematic cluster of collaborative city. So the first one was, we always talk about community, and we must talk about the community. But the community is very diverse, the meaning that we can have in different places, and most importantly, even not only is very diverse in the different places, but for some reason that I'm not going to say now, they are everywhere melting, or they have already melted. So we talk about something that do not exist, or exist in a very weak way. So we have to rebuild the community. And the first line of research is, what does it mean, a community, and what does it mean to try to rebuild, to reweave the society? Through what? And the intervention of Adam was telling about some experiences, the core of which was how to rebuild communities, as a community are the building blocks of whatever we will do, and in turn, the community itself is built by something. And what builds the community, the very core of the community, are meaningful conversation, are people meeting and telling stories. So this is at least what I extract from Adam's presentation, and he gave examples on how this can be done, what are the opportunities and what are the difficulties. And afterward, another stream is the one that say, okay, in this society, not only the community tend to melt, and we have to rebuild intentional communities, but they also tend to be detached from the place in where they are. So there is all this story about the new technology that makes people connect with whoever in the digital space, forgetting the physical space. So many people in between us in DxCC recognize that on the contrary, it's fundamental for sustainability, both social and physical sustainability, to create or to rebuild a link in between the communities and the place in which they are. And the name to tell this story is commoning. That means to recreate commons. And Davide presented through some projects in a very, in my view, very clear and very intriguing way, how they tried to recreate not only the community, but the link between the community and the specificity of the places. And it showed different cases also some failure, and this is very important because it's a way to learn from failure if we are capable to tell the story in the right way, when and how it happens and when and how it didn't happen. So how we can be part in this commoning process. And Fang had as a role the one who talked specifically about infrastructuring. So a very general definition of infrastructure is an open artifact. So normally when we talk about a product, we talk about a product that is done for something very special. So we know what we want to do, and what we want to serve, and what are the needs we want to serve, and all the design concentrate toward overcoming the problems and solving the problem of the people, the personal community. On the contrary, what we can call infrastructure is when the problem, we deliberately, we don't want to define precisely who will use the artifact to do what, because we want to create a kind of platform in which people can do several different things. So the key word is openness. And she presented it through two quite diverse examples. One was her work on the public toilet, and in which way the public toilet can be seen as a typical product done for a very specific use, could be a little bit transformed in an infrastructure, so open to something else. And the second one, it was showing a kind of evolution of the community center. It's called community center, yes. The community centers that for who is not Chinese are is in some way the most distributed way for the organization of the state or the management to be on the territory, from something that was a very traditional one, as it is in many places, especially in Beijing, with a certain role of the community center toward something else that is much more experimental, that is open, and that it has also a different way of being represented physically. And so I think that one was also, for me at least, a very short maybe, but a very interesting view on how an infrastructure, because the community center is an infrastructure, it's a place where different things can happen, can evolve, and how it's evolving in the Chinese context. Okay, this has been just to recall you what was about, at least in my interpretation. I hope not to have betrayed you too much. So now let me see if there is somebody in the public that want to ask something. Okay. There is a mobile, no, I give you this one. Please tell your name so everybody knows.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity to ask a question. My name is Håkan Edholt. I'm coming from the Oslo School of Architecture and Design, and been around in China for 1 month now with students doing a field study in intentional communities and eco-villages. This is a kind of I have a nagging feeling that I hope we are among friends. So I think we need to discuss something more today. We have touched upon it. Ezio touched upon it. John did it also, and it was this with the bigger picture. And I have the feeling that we are avoiding the real challenge when it comes to CC read as climate change rather than collaborative cities. And this is a question that I think we need to discuss, even though we can choose different strategies how to address it. But we need to discuss how our interventions relate to that. If it has a positive impact, or because some of the interventions could even have a negative impact if it increases consumption. So my question to actually all the speakers, or the one, who want to answer is to reflect a bit, expand about how you see your interventions address the issue of climate change. Because to me, it's such an urgent issue, so we can't get away. We can't play around and beating the bush. We need to address it more directly and discuss it at least in the research community.
Okay, well, I can start with that. So the work that we were sharing, the result of much of that infrastructuring activity is a meanwhile space, so an abandoned space that's awaiting development behind the British Library that we are turning into a community public innovation place, so a park making space, but also park and urban agriculture. So there are skip gardens, there are polytunnels, and it's looking at more local food growing and understanding where food is coming from and understanding about the environment for people that actually, many of the local people don't have a lot of connection, there's not a lot of green space in that area. So I suppose in a very soft way, that has a relationship to environment and environmental concerns. Also, I think that once you can assemble a group of people around something that is very tangible to them, in terms of their own immediate needs, then with that group of people you can start to have other conversations that may be no less immediate, but perhaps in some instances less tangible. And I think that that's something that we have seen. So slides that we didn't show here was some of the partners working together on an art action build in the university. So with the New Horizons Youth Centre and others, we came in and we created inflatable cobbles and we created banners and posters for the COP21 demonstrations around the climate summit in the UK. And we're able to have, through working alongside each other, making art, banners, inflatable cubes, we were able to make tools for action that we were then able to take onto the streets of London and use to demonstrate and raise awareness around climate change. But whilst we were working alongside each other making these tools, and many of the people that were there for the fun of it, to be in the art school playing with paint and making stuff, big inflatable cobbles you can throw in the air, as well as block a road. But by having this fun, you're also able to have the conversations about what COP21 is about, what it means in terms of the targets that are being set and how one might go about meeting them. So I think that part of it is around awareness raising, and part of it is that once you've assembled a public, then you're also able to work together to address other concerns locally that might have impacts globally.
I think that it's even a matter of lens that you're using to read some projects. So in this case, I mean, what I presented, what we presented, I think that we're more focusing on the relationship among persons, among people, and the relationship between people and places. If I read this project I presented yesterday through the climate change lens, I can tell you more about that. Like if you want to know about the business modeling, or if you want to use other point of view. In this case, I presented 2 out of 4 were about urban agriculture and the culture of food and how to teach. Not how to teach, but how to trigger people to take into account the food issue. And when I say people, I'm meaning a very wide range of age. We work a lot with primary schools till retired people, so trying to get them involved not only in being a community connected to a place, but being aware of what does it mean to grow your own, and what is the impact of your grow your own on your food habits. As regards the other 2 projects, specifically, one was about this Lakiana area, or the square in which we involve lots of students in being very active in designing urban gaming or activity to be done in the square. Well, every time we're trying to do this kind of stuff, we we push the students not to produce waste in their project, but maybe to use waste to do projects. So it's kind of zero waste project in which they are trying to prototype spaces or prototype services. We can say almost zero emission. So all the pictures you saw yesterday were about using leftovers to create prototype and mock-up to figure out what this project could be, in order again to be very, very aware of your impact as student in design in the activity that you are doing. So you're right, CC is climate change and it's collaborative cities, but I think it's just a matter of description. Maybe yesterday I didn't mention it because the focus was more into another point of view, but that doesn't mean that it was not taken into account.
In my opinion, in fact, in China, the environmental issue is the best topic for us to enter into a community. Actually, it's the biggest comment in China. And if you propose some other initiatives, for example, to have an open breakfast in the community, it may maybe sometimes create some sensitive for the police stations. However, if you try to promote new ideas to sorting the waste, to how recycle, upcycle the waste, and how to teach the children have consciousness and the correct behavior of treating waste, we will be welcomed everywhere, no matter in Beijing or other cities.
Okay, I only want to ask you, because you said that some of the examples could even be negative, and I'm curious to know which one, because I totally agree with you, and maybe I told it, but in any case I can tell it again. I think that all our community of people dealing with social innovation, for some reason, has to try to converge with the community that is mainly dealing with environmental issues. And I said at the beginning that starting with the Zhong presentation was an attempt to start to move in this direction. So I agree that we should use, as Davide correctly said, the lens, the way in which you tell the story, probably should be a little bit changed, trying to put together the social innovation and the environmental innovation, and this is an open discussion. But I agree. What I don't see is, of all the projects that are presented, which one could be negative?
I think most of them is just too slow, given the urgency. That is one thing. The thing I can kind of reacted towards was, fortunately she's not here, Louise, I think, but her focus on markets and profit. And also I doubt that a focus on tourism is a long-term sustainable kind of...
On tourism?
Yeah, tourism as such. The way we're doing tourism today,
I think that nobody was saying about tourism as a mass tourism. So it has not been said here.
It was Barcelona, for instance.
No, but Barcelona, our project in Barcelona is an attempt to reduce, to change the nature of tourism.
How to say, what I reckon, don't really see is the priorities given the urgency of
yes.
climate change. I think we need to find other ways of
So I propose this. We have, luckily today, this morning, we are sufficiently relaxed, so we will have time for a final discussion. And I want only to say now maybe there is something that we can promote, or there have been quoted that at the end has an unforeseen bad impact on the environment. Because this can happen in every human being activity. You can know what you can see, but you cannot say what will happen afterwards. So it's not said that some of the idea on the long run could also be negative. But what you are saying is not that what we have done is negative. Maybe it's slow, So this is different. So to be slow, that to be negative. And this is one of the points that we have discussed, because it's again one of the, I said before, the small, the big, the bottom up, the top down could be also slow toward fast for some necessity. I propose to leave this kind of discussion at the end in the final wrap up of where we can go. So, some other question? Oh, you are the best one that always, you are the same.
Yeah, I understand.
No, yes, sure.
Thank you. So, Jane Hu from Eurasia University. It's actually a question about David's project. I really appreciate that you talked about the value and talked about the success. However, the last project you say, if I understand correctly, is that you have the funding, you have the money from the government and also from Polytechnic. So you want to do these communes, and you have people from the community to join and do their gardens, right? So if I understand correctly, is that you privatize the public space for no grant. So yeah, just want to clarify if that become it's not probably their property, but they own the garden, so is it a driving force for them to maintain the garden and to for long term? And yeah, I just want to clarify that.
Thanks for the question. I think you're referring to one of the two urban agricultural projects. The Milan government nowadays is trying to use a new model of managing these commons. There are no money nowadays, so to maintain and to renew or to reconvert commons in Milan. So what they are asking the people through public calls is to let them be the one to manage these spaces or buildings. So in this case, in proper case, the municipality published a call asking associations to answer in order to give them for free some spaces. In this case, it was 5,000 square meters of green abandoned area for free if they are able to convert it into an urban garden. So it's a kind of giving responsibility to a third actor, in this case the associations or groups, towards a common. So it's not kind of privatization, but it's just delegate as another subject to take care of it and to improve the quality of this common and to generate more hospitable and more inclusive space. And that's what happened. So they actually didn't receive any money, they just received a piece of land. And we were involved into the project because they needed expertise in connecting themselves, because they were a community, to a place that has potentialities but were not yet developed. I don't know if I answered to.
Yeah, I talked about money just because I'm always thinking, because it happened in China that we need a kind of business model that makes things running, and it could be go the very positive way. And and in this case, for the people in that community, they join the project. Do they own this piece of land, or they? I don't know. Is there any?
There is a kind of contract in between the municipality and the association that lasts for 6 years. During these 6 years, people are belonging to this association have the right to use that piece of land for urban agricultural purpose. That's it. Yeah.
May I add something? Yeah. Continue David's answer. Actually, as a Chinese, I totally understand what you are talking about. And in fact, I happen to have a lot of experience about urban agriculture, and in my past experience actually is very difficult to coordinate ordinary people into a public issue without any payment. However, with my new experience at Fang, there is some successful trial in China that in Chengdu City, the community level government organized a system of internal credits, and they encourage people to do everything by themselves and without any payment, and especially with some immaterial reward in this society, and to try to re-establish the sense of community, and which we contribute a lot of engaging people. And I will see that is also possible in China.
I wanted to come back to the previous questions, but more in general. We were talking yesterday about this linking the top down and the bottom up, the social innovations, multiple movement, and the way the government and the public authority could act in that. At the moment, I don't know everywhere, but in several places in Europe, there is a booming of design for public innovation, which is tackling our topic. And there is something which is coming, I don't know if you feel it, but there is a need from impact assessment. There is a claim for impact assessment. And as the gentleman was saying, we will face people who will say, it's too small, it's too slow, it's too, so critics. And we know that, probably as you answered before, we know that it's not only a bland and brutal assessment that will show the positive effect, the direct but also indirect positive effect. So my question is, do you in your practice take care of the assessments of what you are doing? Because I think it's a big challenge for us in design to take care of our own assessments before someone else will take care of it.
Yeah, thanks for the question, because the impact issue is really something that today is required from many points of view. Because if you are doing, for instance, a European Commission project, one of the main points of the requests are, what is the impact of your activity? How can you measure it? How can you measure the impact of social innovation? What we are trying to do is to understand how many people you are involving, and in the activities that you are doing, and the number of activities that you are doing. So the examples I showed yesterday, I put some numbers just because we ourselves needed to understand what is the number of citizens that you are involving in an action, in order to understand if it could be considered as high impact or low impact. For instance, again, in this project you were mentioning, the number of people were not so high, it was about 200, but the quality of these people was very important. Was very important because they were people that, for instance, they were living very close by the area, and they were directly involved in the daily life of that area. So in that case, the impact is not only about the quantity, but the quality, because the way in which they change that place change their life as well. In the other project, the one that we were developing in our campus, again related to urban agriculture, the number was an issue because we were able to involve almost 1,500 people to work together to change that place. So the assessment at the end of the day for the social innovation project, it's not a kind of simple issue. Let's say that what we're trying to do is to understand numbers from one side and qualities of these numbers.
Yes, the last one, I think.
First one.
Thank you. My name is Shijie, and I come from a background in anthropology and sociology. So I could see all the projects are led by either designers or artists, and because we're tackling with social issues and the human crisis. So I'm just wondering, like, how sociologists and not anthropologists would fit in this process of social innovation and make social impact. And do you have any experience or examples of how people from this background, I mean, maybe with multiple disciplines, will fit in will fit in the process of making social impact and social innovation? Thank you.
Speaking for myself and for the projects that we deliver at St Martin's, we're solely a school of art and design, so we do not have internally the other disciplines to be able to collaborate with. However, we often collaborate with other research centres and other courses from other schools. So we work sometimes with UCL. At the moment we're developing closer relationships with King's College to be able to work with the other disciplines. What we do find though is that we get the disciplinary input often from the non-academic stakeholders in the projects. So many of the people that we work with in the council and within the community, particularly from the council, they have come from a social science background or from a planning background or from a different background to the art and design background that our students have. And so this is where some of the interdisciplinarity is brought in. In terms of the ethnographic approaches, this is something that that comes actually through the design students' contribution, although they are trained by social scientists in that within their studies. But these more ethnographic approaches is something that the art and design students apply more so sometimes than some of the other actors involved in the process.
On the contrary, in China, actually I was led to social innovation actions with the help of the sociologists. Actually, my first understanding of the community issues actually comes from a project in Beijing and is led by a research group in the sociology department in Tsinghua University. And it is said that in China, the community autonomous governance is a very large research topic everywhere, no matter in Beijing or elsewhere. However, few people recognize the contribution of design. So that's why I'm so active to cooperate with them. So don't worry about your future. I will need you.
I think it was very interesting, but we will have a final discussion. So I personally also have some questions I will keep for afterwards. And now we go on in the program that is more and more